At the heart of the 2025 Formula One season lies a drama that could define not only McLaren's campaign, but also the future of one of the sport's brightest stars. Oscar Piastri, cool, composed but fiercely ambitious, was thrust into the spotlight at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza when his own team asked him to give up second place to his title rival and teammate, Lando Norris. The call left fans, pundits and even rival teams questioning whether McLaren's pursuit of team harmony was costing Piastri his chance at glory. And now, for the first time, the young Australian has spoken out, revealing the behind-closed-doors discussions that could decide the trajectory of his career. If you want to understand why this moment matters, and what it could mean for the championship battle ahead, make sure to subscribe, because this is the kind of story that will reshape the 2025 season. Oscar Piastri didn't mince words. After Monza, he confirmed what many suspected. He was furious with McLaren's decision to issue team orders. They were sharp, deliberate, and filled with meaning. "I asked them not to interfere with me in the title fight," he said. For a young driver in just his third season of Formula One, this was as much a declaration of independence as it was a warning to McLaren. "I will not let politics take away what I've earned on track." To understand the magnitude of this controversy, let's rewind to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. McLaren arrived as one of the strongest packages of 2025, with their two drivers locked in a tight battle for the championship. Piastri, quick and consistent, had built a slim but crucial advantage in the standings. Norris, meanwhile, was desperate to close the gap. When the pit stops played out, fate handed Piastri the upper hand. Lando's slow service in the box allowed the Australian to jump into second place. For a brief moment, Piastri had struck a decisive blow against his biggest rival. But then came the radio call. Andrea Stella, McLaren's team principal, instructed Piastri to give the position back. The reasoning? Norris had only lost out because of the team's mistake, not because of wheel-to-wheel racing. To McLaren, the fair outcome was to restore the order that existed before the pit stop drama. On the surface, the decision sounds logical. After all, why should a driver benefit from a teammate's misfortune in the pits? Yet Formula One has never been about fairness. It has always been about seizing opportunity. And that's why this decision has sparked outrage. For Piastri, it was more than just 2 lost points. It was the erosion of control over his own destiny. He obeyed the order, dropping to third, but the frustration in his voice was clear. His lead in the championship shrank to 31 points with 8 races left. In a season where consistency means everything, that margin is dangerously slim. What makes this situation even more explosive is the psychological impact. Every driver knows that championships are as much mental battles as they are mechanical ones. By yielding to Norris, Piastri has been forced to question, does the team truly see him as their number one? Or is he destined to play second fiddle in McLaren's narrative of success? History tells us how dangerous these questions can become. Think back to Mercedes in 2016. When Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg's rivalry reached boiling point. The team tried to manage both drivers equally, but every decision was scrutinized, every strategy call dissected. In the end, the partnership collapsed into bitterness, with Mercedes narrowly holding the team together long enough to win titles. Could McLaren be heading down the same path? Piastri's words after Monza give us a clue to his mindset. He spoke of good intentions from the team, but insisted his championship opportunity must remain alive. This wasn't an outburst, it was calculated. He knows that confronting the team too aggressively could damage his long-term prospects. At the same time, he cannot afford to appear weak, not in front of Norris, not in front of rivals like Max Verstappen and George Russell, and certainly not in front of the global audience. Then there's Norris himself. His reaction was defensive but equally telling. He argued that the team order was pre-agreed, that if the roles were reversed, he would have done the same. On paper, this sounds fair, but notice the subtext. Norris positioned himself as the driver wronged by circumstance while painting Piastri's gain as illegitimate. That framing alone shifts the balance of perception. Fans and even rival teams now wonder, is McLaren subtly siding with Norris? Mercedes boss Toto Wolff wasted no time in fanning the flames. His warning to McLaren was as much psychological warfare as genuine concern. By doing that, McLaren has made a very definitive choice that's hard to reverse. It's classic Wolff, undermining a rival by planting seeds of doubt. If McLaren faces another controversial situation later in the season, they may find themselves paralyzed, unable to act without appearing biased. Meanwhile, pundits like David Coulthard have raised another point, that what happened at Monza was essentially manipulation of the race result. Fans tune in to see the best drivers fight for every position, not to watch strategy boards rewrite outcomes in the name of fairness. To many, Piastri earned that second place the moment Norris's pit crew faltered. Returning it stripped the moment of its authenticity. This is where the debate intensifies. Is Formula One a sport of pure meritocracy, or is it a team game where context matters more than the stopwatch? McLaren insists on the latter, describing their approach as the Mclaren way: fair, transparent, and united. But critics argue that this philosophy could cost them both championships and credibility. Let's not forget the ripple effects beyond McLaren. Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes are watching closely. A fractured McLaren opens the door for others to exploit the chaos. Max Verstappen, who recently rediscovered form after a difficult mid-season slump, will be licking his lips at the chance to pounce on any slip-ups. Ferrari, with Charles Leclerc pushing hard, may sense opportunity too. And don't underestimate Mercedes, who thrive in political storms just as much as on-track battles. For Piastri, the next few races will be critical. Does he continue to play the loyal team man, trusting McLaren to balance the fight fairly? Or does he begin to carve out his own path, pushing back harder against instructions that compromise his title run? Every word he speaks, every look he exchanges with Norris in the paddock, will be analysed to death. One fascinating layer to this drama is the generational element. Piastri is young, methodical, almost robotic in his approach. He's built a reputation for cool efficiency. Norris, in contrast, is emotional, outspoken, and deeply popular with fans. McLaren knows the value of Norris as a long-term marketing asset. Could that influence their decisions? In Formula One, where image is almost as powerful as results, it's a possibility that cannot be ignored. The comparison to Hamilton and Rosberg isn't just convenient, it's eerily accurate. Back then, Mercedes insisted they could manage two alpha drivers without implosion. They were wrong. Crashes, radio spats, and internal tension defined their partnership until Rosberg's shock retirement. McLaren may be telling themselves they can succeed the McLaren way, but history suggests otherwise. In the end, what makes this situation so gripping is its unpredictability. Monza might go down as a mere footnote in the season, a bump in the road quickly forgotten if McLaren manages it well, or it could be remembered as the spark that ignited a civil war inside the team, fracturing unity and rewriting the course of the championship. For now, Piastri remains outwardly calm, refusing to adopt what he calls a ruthless attitude. But beneath the surface, one can't help but wonder how long before frustration boils over, because in Formula One, ambition rarely waits for permission. So, what do you think? Did McLaren just protect their team? Or did they secretly reveal who they really want as world champion? The answer may define the rest of the 2025 season.